we've been discussing so far how to format things like H1s and H2s and paragraphs, and then we got into divs and images and all that great stuff. But the next thing that I want to focus on is formatting and controlling the formatting of HTML tables. Now, I thought it would be important for us to take the time to actually manually hand code out a table just so that we're all on the same page. You might know about how to code an HTML table already, but again, I want to make sure that we're all at the same spot and that we all understand all of the HTML elements that are at play inside an HTML table. So let's go and take a look at this here. I'm going to flip back over to my code. And what I'm going to ask you to do is find a spot inside your page. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll go for the space that I'm creating here beneath the first paragraph inside my document. I'm going to stick a table right into this spot here. So you might want to give yourself a little bit of room there. Now, the idea of hand coding a table, by the way, is a fantastic example of this thing that I've been talking about all the way along, boxes inside boxes or containers inside containers. You're going to see how this all plays out here. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to create the outermost table container for my HTML table. So I'm going to type in open angle bracket table and then close angle bracket just like that. And as always, Coda is nice enough for me here to close off the table tag for me, or the table element, with the closing table tag. So make sure you do the same there. And I'm just going to give myself lots and lots of room here to work because there's lots more that I want to throw in here. Okay, so there's the outermost container, if you will, table. And then inside my table, I would specify all of the rows and columns. So what I'd need to know ahead of time is how many rows and how many columns I want to have inside my table. Well, I want to keep things pretty straightforward here with you, at least at first. So what I'd like to do is I'd simply like to create a 3-row by 3-column table. So what I need to do is I need to specify each of my rows. And I'm going to do that by using the TR element, just like this. So open angle bracket TR, and then throw in your closing tag, open angle bracket /TR, close angle bracket, just like that. So that's a table row. Now, I said I wanted 3 rows, so I'm going to need to take this content and copy it and paste it down my page 2 more times, just like this. Wonderful. Now, it's inside the table rows where I'm going to specify my table cells. And by specifying the table cells, I'm also simultaneously specifying the number of columns that I want to have inside my table. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to drop my cursor inside my first table row. And once again, just for clarity here for you, I'm going to give myself a little bit of white space. And I'm going to throw in my first table cell. And I'm going to do so by going open angle bracket TD, close angle bracket. And TD stands for table data, which is what normal human beings would call a table cell. Okay, so watch out for that one. Okay, and of course, throw in your closing tag there. Okay, so I said I wanted 3 columns, right? So I'm going to need to take this table cell and copy them and then paste them out 2 more times, just like that. So I have the cell opening and closing, cell opening, cell closing, cell opening, cell closing, all to give me a simple row with 3 cells. And then, of course, what I'm going to need to do is duplicate that down 2 more times inside my table. So just to speed things up here, I'm going to grab my code and copy it and paste it down just like this. So now what I have, at least in a very basic way, is a 3-column by 3-row table coded out here all by hand inside my document. And as you can see, there's a lot of code involved here. But once again, this is a great example. Again, I'm harking back to the CSS box model and this concept of containers inside containers. So here we have 3 containers at play. We have the table cell or the table data container, which is residing inside the table row container, and the table row container resides inside the outermost table container. Okay, now we have a few other elements that we can throw into our tables. For instance, rather than just having plain vanilla table cells or table data, what I could do is I could throw in a table header. In other words, like bold text, maybe running across the top of my table, or maybe down the left-hand side, something like that. So if I want to do that, I need to change my TDs to THs, just like this. So maybe I want a header row or a table header running right across the top of the table. I'd need to change my TDs to THs, just like that. So there you go. That's kind of neat. The other thing that we can do is we could throw in a table caption. That would be like a piece of text or a table title that would appear above the table. And to do that, what I need to do is drop it just on the inside of the opening table tag, just like this. And I'd go open angle bracket and then caption, something like this. And then I'd type in whatever table caption I want. But again, this is just the straight raw HTML. My table framework is constructed here, but it doesn't contain any content. Maybe we'll throw in some quick sample content in the next exercise. But this is the general basic HTML markup for a table. And of course, what I want to do is I want to get into all kinds of crazy techniques, CSS tricks, and skills to show you to completely format and control your table. And that's really what this is all about.